Hello and welcome to All Talk No Dice, the worst excuse for a D&D show you can find online. From last we left off, the Companions of Fate continued their journey through the Crawler's Respite, battling your way into the ruins of Nesviti. As you continue to search through the ruins, hoping to find Theron, who had been kidnapped by the insectoid husks. Along the way, you activated a trap and began to be drowned in sand. Through a few tense moments, you all hurried and pushed through the terror to solve the puzzle upon the main load-bearing pillars. Coming down to the wire with seconds before an inevitable death, after some unsuccessful attempts, you found a way to disable the trap, and the floor opened to start draining out the sand. And as it did, you all saw deep within the drain what looked like hundreds and hundreds of humanoid forms, long dead and buried, piled atop each other, unsure as to how long any of them had drawn their last desperate breath. While all this was going on, Theron used his arcane talent to escape from a husk web binding and crept through the caverns ahead, then, unfortunately, bumbling against a hidden door, deciding to head straight through, alerting a hidden throne chamber filled with goblins, direwolves, and one very large ogre. Staying invisible, you stepped back and barely evaded the patrol that stepped through and began to investigate the hidden door and caverns beyond. Then soon hearing husks bearing down on them, leading you to rush out and shuffle inside the chamber, aiming for behind the throne. Coming back to Tara, Rayloff and Gerald, all three of you, exhausted from your recent brush with death, found yourselves addressed from the top of the stairway by a few goblins and direwolves, hearing large thumps and quakes, a booming voice ordering not to kill, and for you to approach his chamber. After Tara caught a glimpse of your strange gunslinging ally tailing you, she hurled an ice knife straight for one goblin, then its ally charged down after you. Sword drawn and screaming a singular battle cry, halfway down the steps, one loud echoing blast sounded behind you, and the goblin's head almost exploded, finding gore, spray, and drip along the floor just inches from your feet. Gerald then began to play his violin and began to charm the goblins and wolves ahead, as the voice once again halted the goblins from attacking. As all of you found yourselves inside the throne chamber, with some attempts to fool the ogre, he quickly caught on and began to wonder what had opened this door in the wall. First showing no knowledge and then almost giving up on that deceit, to share that he and his friends were never to use it or traverse through it. Now, as Theron tucks away, visible to the rest of you, behind the ogre's throne, the ogre just hurled his arm into the wall to cave it in, as to keep the creatures out and keep the rest of all of you in. Rayloff and Tara, still hoping for the best, Gerald then continues to trick the ogre, and he turns to you, rage in his mildewy, moss-covered eyes, and he bounds over to you, 3 large steps, and his 15-foot tall form now lifts his huge foot above you, casting shadow across your form, and begins hurling it down at a rapid pace.
I tried to jump out of the way of that.
Yeah, we're going to all try.
Well, this is where we pick it up. So, what do you want to do?
Yeah, jump out of the way of it.
Just jump out the way.
Okay.
I'm guessing this is going out to all of us then.
I'll come round and shoot mine. Sliver at him.
Okay, so I want you 3 to roll dexterity saving throws, and Theron, I want you to roll an attack for me.
Okay, cool.
That's a good first roll.
That was the same. That was a good first roll.
Is it with advantage? Because he don't know him there.
I'll say for now, yeah.
Oh, natural 20. Natural 20.
Nice.
It was a 15 and then a natural 20.
Nice.
Lovely. Fantastic.
All right. So
And then +7.
Well, that definitely hits. Roll for damage on that mind sliver. And the dexterity saving throws.
19 for me.
Okay. Gerald.
Nat 20, 24 total.
Nice. Fucking nat 20s off the gate.
Yeah, I know. Straight off.
6 and a 4.
Right.
Oh, did you double the rolled dice as well for that? Because it's a crit.
No.
Yeah, so whatever dice you roll, whatever number comes up, you double that. You don't double the modifiers when you add them on, but you just double all the dice rolled. Rayloff, what was your dex save?
22.
22. And Tara?
19.
Okay. All right. And how much damage did that do? Theron?
Well, if it's 6 and a 4, so if it's 2 6s, it's 12,
Double.
and then 8. Yeah.
20 then.
Well, that'll be 20 plus your modifier, won't it? If it's
I don't think it
Uh,
has a modifier for spells, does it? Or is it spell attack modifier? Sorry,
It'll be. Actually, no, because no modifier goes
No,
on
they don't
to the
get
damage
any-
unless it's
No,
a
no,
weapon.
no.
Okay, 20 damage.
Nice.
All right. So
and Andy has blah, blah, blah,
he has to make a wisdom save, correct?
intelligent. Intelligence. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not fucking you. Natural 20.
Dang.
3 nat 20s at the start of the game.
Get him out now. So
Oh, what was
20 is a 19.
yeah. So
so half of that 10.
okay. Well,
Uh,
no. The wisdom save is just he has disadvantage. If he fails, he has
Okay, fact
disadvantage on.
it's intelligence save.
Yeah, like but on a manslither or manslither, isn't it? On a failed
Right,
save,
I'm
you get
quickly searching
disadvantage.
Yeah, so that this
Ah,
So-
here we
so-
go.
so he still takes full
must take
damage.
an intelligence saving throw or take the damage and subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw.
Okay, so he makes the save. Was it
Yeah,
say
yeah,
is it
yeah.
half damage or no damage?
No damage.
Oh, no damage.
Okay,
So,
all right. As the foot comes hurling down, as you just hear like a booming, and the foot begins plummeting, all of you just dart out the way and back up. And just as the foot is about to slam down, causing another quake, you see almost rapidly his foot just like stops, landing toe first, before just you just hear a big no, and he just falls pretty much to his knees, still towering easily at least 8 feet above all of you.
It's not what you would have wanted.
Whoa, big guy. We're not going to use any more magic then.
And you just see, as you say that, the large head just turns around and stares directly at you, Theron.
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to stamp on them. My bad.
I'm sorry.
I apologize too. Is there anything that we can do to help try find the rest of your friends?
And you see his like fist just partly pushed down, and as it, even for him gently pushing down to get himself up, you see this stone underneath just crack under the weight as he stands up.
My friends are here.
And he turns just to go and take about 2 steps or so before planting himself back in the large throne. As he does, all of you can feel a slight tremor
Yeah.
within the movement.
Those creatures keep attacking us.
My friend here says, pointing towards, gesturing towards Gerald, we can, as friends, we can help you fight these things.
There is no fighting.
At that, I'm going to reach back into my backpack and I'm going to pull out the chitin and just show him. We've fought some when we came in here.
And won convincingly.
We have fended them off. They keep coming back.
How many are there?
We have slain hundreds in 5 years.
I'm thinking, is there a source where they come from that we could possibly block off?
when we first came here, the temple was above the ground.
Interesting.
There was a traveler like you who asked me if he could look into our caverns.
And he just like sort of points off towards the wall that he's now caved in.
Yeah.
Through there,
Did the traveler have like a white-brimmed hat at all?
no,
What did he look like out of interest?
dark hair, short and wide, small cloak. Introduced himself as E.B. He asked if he could look around the caverns. I saw no issue. Within
What was-
hours,
Was he human? Dwarven? Elvish? Orc?
dwarf. Within hours of his research, we heard crashing and breaking.
Did he ever come back up? Or surface? That you
We-
know of?
I didn't see him again.
Would you permit us to go down and see if we can rectify this whole ordeal?
And you just see the large face just turn towards the caved in wall.
Yes.
This EB, was he part of a caravan?
Came alone.
And I assume you've seen other caravans coming through these parts.
I haven't left these ruins, this temple, since we got here.
And as he talks, you can see some of that like mildew along his neck begin to crack and flake off slightly.
I'd like to insight that.
Roll an insight check.
We see if his flakiness of his neck that we saw is anything of like when I was helping people when I was younger, have I seen any kind of injury like that before, and have I ever like fixed it or been able to put anything on it to help?
Roll either history or medicine check.
I'll
Rayloff,
go with medicine.
what was your insight?
15.
15. He's blankly, if not dangerously honest to all of you.
16 was my medicine.
You've seen similar injuries. Usually they come from any kind of infections to certain wounds or lacerations. Some of them are just bacterial and begin to grow and climb across the skin. If you wanted to determine which one of those it was, then you'd probably have to get closer to have a proper inspection and a look.
Have a taste.
I will take a step forwards. It's just one. May I? And I'll kind of like point towards my neck, and then I may have been able to. I might be able to help you.
And he just lumbers down, like wrapping his hand around you.
Okay. I'll try to feel like the trust.
Yeah, and he just like picks you up and like sits you on his shoulder, which
Okay.
as he does, all of you like Terra right now, compared to this huge hulking form, is about yay big compared to him, as she's sitting on his shoulder.
I kind of look away and chuckling to myself.
Through deeper investigation, could I see any more?
Roll a medicine check with advantage for me.
15
15.
was with advantage.
Okay. From what you can tell, just kind of like flaking a little bit off and just moving the skin around as well as the actual infected area. You notice that it is, or what the rest may be as well, extreme lacerations or wounds that have yet been infected and just began to grow fungus and mold and, you know, all of the humid moisture that might enter here, but the dryness hasn't seemed to help as much.
Okay, I'm going to kind of like pat down on his shoulder to get his part attention. Could I try something?
Fine.
Okay. Oh, why you get out to come off my back?
And you see Mogwai just
gets out the amoxicillin.
Yeah. you see Mogwai just hop off your back and just sitting on this, almost like the shoulder of this ogre is like pretty much almost like a watch out tower platform. You know, it's like very very like wide and sturdy. You couldn't exactly start doing cartwheels, but it's spacious. Yeah.
Stay there. Yeah, cool. I'm going to bring out a little bowl. I'm going to use the 5 good berries that I have on my possession. I'm going to use it to kind of like hand crush the good berries and use that as an add-in to try to clean and hopefully give him that 5 HP.
Whilst
that's going to take a couple of minutes as you start doing some more vessel.
I would definitely like to say, like, the healing of druids is unparalleled, and she'll definitely be able to help you. And I'd like to give bardic inspiration to Tara, in case she wants to succeed on anything.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
As Tara is there, like mixing up and getting like fresh cloves in,
and little bits and
the ogre just looks to all of you.
Why are you so nice now?
Oh, you haven't killed us, and we kind of respect that.
We do.
My brother set an example for me. That's why I didn't kill you.
Thank you very much. Is your brother still with us, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
What's your name?
Bar.
Oh, it's a very nice name.
Is that like 1 R or 2 R's or 3 R's?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'll ask that question in Giant to see if he can reply in Giant at all.
What question are you asking?
Is it with 1 or 2 or 3 R's?
Right.
And see if he can reply in Giant.
Okay. And as you speak, as Terra like speaks in Giant, it is almost like like just a deeper, duller tone, more guttural, as she speaks, and the ogre just turns.
1 bar.
In Giant.
And as they're talking, I want to cantrip prestidigitation just to make myself be clean again.
Yeah, you just and your robes just flutter out slightly, like a nice strong breeze just hit you. He then turns back to the three of you standing in front while Terra's on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Why did you hurt my friends?
On our way down the road, we were attacked by a group of goblins and one orc. And
We were
they
ambushed.
We were ambushed, and they were saying they were part of the
Herons.
Herons.
What are the herons?
Oh.
Well, it appears to be a group made up purposely, either on purpose to blame you, or has been shifting the blame onto you for attacking caravans.
And stealing from and killing the people that are on there. The only person that we know who has come back is a dwarf who's named Eric. He's the only person who has come, from what we know, who has come back from the town. He's come back to the town, sorry, and survived.
A dwarf called Erig, with a name starting with E. There was a dwarf who went into the caverns.
Do you know this person? Is this the guy that came?
I wouldn't know without seeing him.
Possible.
Well, all I can do is apologize on behalf of us all. And if you will permit us, as a gesture of good faith, we can go down the caverns and see what's going on, see if there's anything we can do. See if there's any of your friends we can save or bring back to you.
Roll a persuasion check.
I'm being honest, but yeah.
Persuasion.
Ah, Broadstout. That was his last name.
Oh shit, natural 20. I'm not even joking.
Oh,
I'm not even
looks like you got
joking.
good dice.
I was
the,
expecting a 2. I
yeah.
saw the 2 and then a 0.
What's the total on that for persuasion?
What's that, sorry?
What's the total on persuasion?
The what?
What's the total
What's the
score
total?
on top of that natural 20 for your persuasion?
+1.
Okay. You see Bar just still looking down. You can see like
natural 20s.
I know. You can see the cogs turning in his head.
You may go and inspect.
How many goblins do you have here?
There was 6. Used to be many more.
Then I would suggest that you would be careful. From what we've been told, this is where they were coming from, and yet, from the looks of it, from what information we've been gathered, you were their leader, and yet you just know nothing of them.
I am no leader. I offered my home. We had families and troops and clans, goblins and orcs. The orcs went on their way sooner or later, but 2 stuck around. They were the only ones I had to tell to leave.
Why did you have to ask them to leave? What did they do? What transgression did they cause?
They were manipulating the rest of the goblins, putting them down, making them work, and taking them away from here. And we never saw them again.
Do you remember the name of the orcs, or Not really.
Mogrosh and cruel.
And
If cruel. If they are still alive, they might be trying to put blame on me.
We talked to one of the goblins. He mentioned those two names.
They must be out there.
He also mentioned here. They must be close by.
I wouldn't have sent them away unless they had done something cruel and heinous.
From what we heard, they definitely did something cruel.
They done anything to you? And
No,
out of interest, Bar, if we ever see him in our travels, would you like him to just disappear?
I know that means to kill them. If you do, I don't want to know.
Okay. I was just wondering if their transgressions were that bad, would they be deserving of killing? But if not, that's fine.
5
I
years ago,
apologize.
I would have broken them down.
well, we
Not now.
Tara, could you throw me the map?
And you, Tara, you finish applying
yeah.
some of the ointment
I'll
across.
kind of like pre-prep him to say, this is going to sting. And then I'll put it on him.
And you feel in the shoulder just that like quaky rumble.
Yeah.
But you see it
Maybe
it adheres fairly well and just stays on. It's still kind of like a viscous paste right now.
Yeah.
But you've slathered it on.
Yeah, cool. It's just
Well,
to kind of like give him moisture and hopefully it'll help clean whatever's there, kind of thing.
I just love the words viscous paste.
Mm-hmm.
Yum. Well, can I get a look down?
Thank you.
After Mogwai's back on me
Yeah.
bag. And I'll hand over to Gerald the map.
I'd like to DM if you wouldn't mind putting it on the screen for us. please.
Absolutely.
What are we going to do about, well, if they've sent any people to help?
Who has sent what people?
I'll pull out the scroll. Wouldn't really be able to read it, would he? This was given to us by Lord Master Bolden. He is, well, the lawkeeper of the town that we came from, and he requested us to look into why the caravans from their town was being taken, and from what information they knew, it was from the Herons, and it was under your leadership. From the information we gathered from the goblins that attacked us, we sent a message back to ask for help to go here. Whether or not they've sent any, we don't know.
Lord Master Bolden.
Yes. He is a half-elf.
In that case,
Like-
out of interest, how far away are we from the exit? Well, I won't know, will I? So don't matter.
Yeah, you out of
And
everyone,
Branson
you have
came
the
with us.
for Theon in this temple, in these ruins, you don't have any kind of semblance of
Yeah.
layout
Does
until you look at the map, and then you can get some semblance of a decent.
could I have a look at the map, please? Because I can maybe go outside and.
I will come over with it and just sort of show her. If I'm looking at it, I'm going to mention that is where you came from, yes? This sort of hole there.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It won't work out anyway. Because I was thinking, like, if I went outside and did a sky ride, but the only problem is I'm putting the place on a map if it's sky ride.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We know you were close.
Where does this Baldwin reside?
To the west, a city called Brenton.
I wandered through there once.
Did anybody see you?
Plenty.
Ah, as I thought. Were you received well, or?
I'm unsure what they thought. There was, from the sounds of it, one previous Lawmaster Bolin who found me there and spoke to me.
Was he friendly to you?
Very.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that he wasn't the Lawmaster anymore.
So technically you've seen each other and you know each other. So we could actually smooth this over.
If you would be willing to come with us to help.
That's not
And
not necessarily.
His eyes just narrow to you, Rayloff.
You told me another Lawmaster is there.
Yes, Lawmaster Bolden.
I have not met a Bolden before.
Oh,
A Bolin I have.
Oh, Bolin. Okay.
Really? I believe it is Bolin that did send us.
Yes, it is Bolin. Sorry,
Why are
Still
you
good.
lying to me?
He just got it wrong in his own mind. That's it. It happens from time to time.
I have the certificate here.
It's fine. I'm not used to having more guests here.
Would you like to come back with us?
No.
Bar. Out of interest, you're like one of the nicest ogres that I've ever actually met. I'm glad I met you.
Am I the only ogre you've met?
Yes.
Great
But you
start.
Still 100% the nicest ogre that I've ever met.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Yeah.
Even though I know I'm the only one, it still makes me happy.
Yeah, even though I'm fuck ugly, I'm glad
Still
you.
100%, baby.
No.
Come on, fourth, third, natural 20. Come on. That's a 6. 14 plus 1, 15.
Okay. You see like a very slight grin just crack up the side, and as he does, you see some of that mildewy flake still just and just like flake off.
See, you're smiling because you know I'm speaking the truth.
No one has come here and made me feel so good.
Wait till we have beers.
What are your names?
Well, my name, seeing as I'm speaking to you, Theron Lustafson. I come from the far north. From a little town called Girolf.
I have never been there before.
We've got some quite strong alcohol. It gets you through the winter months.
I will keep that in mind.
So will I when I need to get pissed.
And you do see that similar side grin still cracking off more of that mass.
And the rest of you?
As for me, I am Gerald of Spine-Talon Ridge, as I take a bow for him.
I've never been there either.
A lot of swamps and not too much else, but otherwise acceptable.
I'm Ralof Holdstrom. I also hail from Yolderheim, though more of a side city, really, to Goldrone. And Theron is definitely right about the alcohol there, but we've definitely had some more stronger, though not quite beer.
Sounds like a place I want to be.
Well, if you like cold rain, cold sun, and even colder snow, it's definitely the place for you.
And you, my aide.
My name is Tara Horath Finini, and I come from the northern jungle near Graldine. It's not very special like everybody else's, but
We
it's a
are
place.
in Graldine.
Exactly.
It
I
is
don't live very far.
nice to meet you, neighbor.
Yes. It's nice to meet you too.
I do a little bow, like,
I'm glad we have met without too much bloodshed.
Yes.
so am I. Like, no offense when you were almost stamping on him. I apologize about that. Again.
As
Truly.
do I.
We got off on the wrong foot. I made you smile. You know what I mean? We can be friends.
Once I receive an apology,
I'm sorry that we had hurt your friends when the optimal thing would have been to follow your lead.
thank you. But your words are not needed, friend. Neighbor,
Yes.
you turned my friend to ice.
Which I am.
savable? Is he savable or not savable?
100% not stable.
Okay.
Which I do apologise for.
I think you need to kind of sell the apology, to be honest.
Theron,
Yes, sir.
you opened the door through the caverns, killing more of my men, causing me to seal off that wall.
I know. I do apologize, but I was actually binded by those creatures. I was keeping watch, and then I was pulled under the sand, and then all I remember is waking up in binds. I had to get myself out, and I accidentally came upon that little entrance.
Fine. I accept your apologies. But my other friend, half of his head almost blew off.
Now that one I don't know.
As you say that, Tara, you all hear a voice behind you. Yeah, that one was me.
I will turn around or wherever that voice is.
You turn.
And as I turn, I sort of prep myself
You see.
for a little attack.
You see, almost calmly and relaxed, you see this humanoid form with the wide-brimmed white Stetson hat, a dark brown almost leather and hide coat with gloves on the hands. You see sort of a grey shirt button down with a black waistcoat just coming in, and you see like a small chain going from the pocket of the waistcoat into his pocket.
All right, give me a fob watch. Yeah.
And you see like the head tilted down, but as he kind of just rears up to look at all of you, the thing that catches you off guard is you don't see skin. You see fur.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You see a golden and amber furred Leonin.
Sexy.
Lion folk with a snub, wide nose that draws to a small pinkish hue at the end.
Any noticeable scars on his face, or is he just as handsome as ever?
Well, right now, as you see, as you just like take a quick glance of him,
Right,
you see his nose. You see eyes peeking through of just bright, like almost emerald green, and you see just behind his neck, you see a long and thick, like darker gold, so more like a mousy blonde kind of mane that just hangs partly down and like tucked into his coat. You see he's got a slim jawline, but still like, albeit like kind of like you're like a Leonin pretty boy, but more so like demanding and more rugged and more of a commanding kind of physique, as he's
so he's sort of off between a pretty boy and knows what he's doing kind of thing.
Yeah. And you see one solid leather holster holding what you can see is just this like ivory curved handle of some sort, as he's just like leaning, like popping one hand on the handle just at his waist and leaning against like one of the far walls, standing now in front of the goblins and the divers behind him.
The bastard's exuding coolness. Just
Casually, full on,
casually,
100% cool points.
Yeah. I just look at him. I'm like, you are one handsome devil. I'll give you that. Well, beast. Sorry.
As he smiles, you just see like glistening white but still jagged canines just filling his entire mouth.
So, out of interest, when we were defeating those goblins in the desert, was that your white-brimmed hat that was reflecting from the sun?
You seem so perceptive.
What did he say, sorry?
You seem so perceptive.
Wow, I try to be. And for instance, what's that chain going into your pocket? Is it a fob watch?
That's just too many questions right now.
Well, it's not really. It's only two.
Excuse me, miss?
Yes?
You got something that belongs to me.
Maybe it belongs to us now.
It don't.
Okay. We'll see.
I believe I do.
Guessing you mean the claw. The one you found in the building.
I would kindly ask that you just give me back the claw and the skull, because they belong to me.
Were they someone you knew?
That don't matter. Would you like to hand them over, miss?
I would like you to answer my
Just give
friend's
it to
question.
him. It's
I'd
fine.
like to answer your
It's
question.
fine. Just give it to him.
If a watch is too many questions,
You'll
Out of interest, guys, I have a feeling if we start trying to ask too many questions, he's going to shoot without notice. I can see it in his eyes.
No, I'll give you fair warning. Give you a chance.
You didn't give me the chance with the horses and the carriage.
So, would you answer questions or not answer questions? It could be the quickest route for no violence. That's just what I'm saying.
It's fine. I'll take one step closer towards him.
Young lady,
You didn't give me the chance.
I gave you a map.
You gave me the map. You've had a barrel to my head. You gave me no chance.
Well, he didn't shoot you.
You can't be too safe.
Why didn't you just talk to us?
I met people along this road before. You think I'm gonna go hand in hand and just go up with open arms to anyone and everyone I meet? No.
So you decide to point them blank range in the head. Solid. Let's go from one side of the barrel to the next.
I'm gonna go up to her and I'm just gonna grab the skeleton, the claw.
He's
and
not
use
going to be
it.
able to, anyways. It's in my bag. Mogwai's literally on it.
Mogwai's
I'm
just,
gonna take
You
a
can-
look at it.
Yeah.
just like pouch on top of the bag.
I'll
Yeah, I'm just
I'll
gonna
look-
lift the pouch with him on it then.
It's not going to be able to happen. You've got a literal an owlbear or literal wood growl at you if you came at me.
have a fight with him.
I'm having a conversation with this guy. I'm not bothering what happens around me.
Rayloff, you like step towards the towards Sarah's backpack, and all you see on top is Mogwai just.
I don't have a problem with giving you your claws and your skull. It's perfectly in your possession. I'm just saying, I would have preferred you to talk to us normally. Did we look violent? Did we seem violent? I would like to know, so I know to encounter the next person hopefully different.
It don't matter what you
Well,
look
he
like.
has a certain objective.
So did we.
It don't matter what you look like.
You'd rather hope that we don't pull any. What happens if I would have moved? Just to scratch my arse? You would have shot?
Probably.
So, well,
Probably. I love it.
You know, people have told me I'm just really mean sometimes, but I helped you out.
yes.
So
Did you know that the skull and the claw was able to be found?
No, I did not. Hence why I'd like to have him back.
Yes. Are you
Can
gonna
I,
try to?
Go on, sorry.
Are you gonna try to shoot us at all, or
I wasn't planning on it.
what you want now? Is that what you're trying to say?
I ain't planning on shooting you.
This is taking a rather wide breath from an apology to Bar here. Which is all we needed.
Out of interest,
you
Bar.
see, and
Do
Bar
you
just
know
looks
this
down.
guy?
You blew my friend's head. It's scattered across the stone.
I'll kind of talk to my wife to say, "Okay, buddy," and I'll kind of just him off to take out the skull and then.
That's not a very nice thing, Leonin. What do you got to say for yourself? And then I just wink at him and smile.
And he looks at you, and then his eyes just like briefly turn up to Bar. That was your friend's fault. I apologize that your friend made the mistake of charging at these people.
Take the hand and the skull out of the bag now.
You
the
see,
Mogwai's
you see,
off.
yeah, you see Bar's just
Was that saying sorry?
as Bar looks at all of you now, away from the Leonin.
I imagine that's the kindest words he's spoken recently.
And he like leans, not covering any distance because he's still on his throne.
Thank you.
I'll look at the Leone and I'll just be like, so, you got a name?
People call me Duke.
People call me Theron.
Right.
Cool. Bro.
People call you Duke. What does your family call you?
Dukes of Hazzard.
My family calls me by my name. Duke,
And that
Duke
is-
ain't my name.
Exactly. What is your name? And I'll happily give you these. Happily.
Oh. Obviously, it's none of our
Right.
business.
It's gonna be you want these.
I see where he's going with this.
Can I just rip him out? And-
No.
I mean, if you want to do
it's-
contesting checks, if
I-
real life, if you do want to try and like snatch them out of Tara's hands,
No,
So-
actually, no. I'll leave it just in case.
Nah, just do it anyway.
No, because I don't want to break him.
Yeah, Briff the Brute, then he won't be able to use them.
listen,
Exactly, but then he'll hate all of us.
I helped you. Now you help me.
Raising the skull and the claws.
Be careful with it.
Can I at least ask, since I've been in the sand, what are these artifacts?
These, I presume, is what remains of possibly people that you knew. I don't want to presume because they.
I don't want to talk
I don't
about
know.
it.
That's fine.
I just want them back.
That's perfectly fine. And I will. After you give us your real name.
Can I? How far away am I from the artifacts?
What, the remains?
Mm.
Depends how close you're standing to Terra.
Can I start walking and try and make a Arcana check on them,
Yeah, roll an Arcana.
just to make sure there's no shenanigans on the go? 13 plus 7.
I'll happily.
20.
Yeah,
There's
10, 20.
nothing magical about these.
Okay.
Terra,
Like I said, yeah.
Duke just looks at you as you were like holding them up, and you see, and Theron comes over and just kind of like, without touching, just begins to like inspect. You see Theron's eyes kind of like shimmer slightly.
And then you see the reflection in the glasses flitter, and then I'm just like, there's nothing magical. Just give them to him. If they're that important and we need them, we can always go get them.
Listen,
I'd like you to tell us your name.
I gave
Why
you.
I
are
know
you being
we'll
so
give them-
difficult with this?
It doesn't always his name.
It doesn't, but we want to know. I want to know who
But
he
how
is.
do you,
Then
how
ask
do you
him
know?
afterwards.
How do you know
Don't
my?
threaten him for something that he wants.
I
how-
haven't laid a finger. I haven't said
Threatening
anything.
not giving it to him.
How do you know my real name?
Stop arguing.
I'm sorry, Bar. I'm sorry. We're just trying to get the
All I
nice.
want is a name, and he can have him back. There's nothing. There isn't Duke, and it isn't a stupid name that you made up. Because I have a funny feeling that you're going to lie.
Then
Listen,
why not just give him the stuff if he's going to lie anyway? Makes no difference in the end.
listen, I helped all y'all. You helped me. Give those remains back to me. I gave you a name. It's Duke.
That is actually true.
He did.
Yeah.
It was a name that
And
suit.
I-
People call me Duke. Yeah.
I,
People call me Jeff. It means nothing.
To be fair, you do look like a Jeff.
I'm going to have
You know-
walked down the stairs and
Yeah.
start heading towards this room over here on the right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll start walking over to bar and just sit by bar.
You know, Mias, once you hand those over, I ain't gonna run nowhere. So we got plenty of time to get to know each other better.
Just do it, Tara. Jesus Christ.
Come find me when you've all sorted this out. I thought, just keep
It's
going.
it's almost like you one trouble. It's just the remains of somebody that he needs. If they're that
Well,
important to us down the road, we can find them.
I'll walk close to.
He doesn't move. He stays like still resting
fine.
against that wall.
He's still
Okay.
actually leaning. He's that cool. He's just like, give me the
I'll-
stuff.
About 5 foot away from him, I'll delicately place them on the floor. And I'll walk back
As
turned and everything.
as you place them down,
Yeah.
he kind of leans down and just whispers, "Archibald."
Is that whispered just to Tara?
Yeah, none of
Yeah.
none of you
Yeah.
would even with Theron, even with your higher passive perception, you still wouldn't have made that out as it was behind the hat and also very very.
Can I just random just look at him and just go, Fab watch?
When he does say that to me, I will mildly respond to see. That no one would have heard by him.
Okay.
And then I will obviously walk away.
What for your mind link? What did you say?
I said thank you to
Okay.
him after
Yeah.
he told me.
Okay.
He could hear it like as a genuine thank you rather than like I wasn't trying to bore him or anything.
Can he reply?
He can reply yes, but technically
No, it only works one
because
way.
because we're so close, he can talk to me for an hour through mind link.
Okay.
Through mind link.
Yeah, 40 feet. Let me just confirm. 50 feet now because of the level up.
Nice. Through in your head, you just hear, and thank you. No hard feelings.
No hard feel. I'll try to be as close as I can, but be nowhere near to say hard feelings.
I really want to know if he's got a fob watch.
Gerald,
Hey, have you got a fob watch?
I don't know
come
what
on.
that is.
What's that chain going into your pocket?
It's a chain going in my pocket.
What with just chain?
It has something attached to it.
Yeah, and what's that something? Oh, I was almost trying to copy you then. What's that chain going into your pocket? Is it a watch? I love time, you see. I'm a timekeeper of sorts.
Right. Well, that's my business now, isn't it?
Fair enough. I'll find out eventually anyway.
Of course.
And
you
let's
will.
give him a wink.
Gerald.
I have a feeling we'll meet again.
In time.
See you later.
Gerald, you begin to wander off towards the other rooms. You said you are looking through the far northern room.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Are you looking for anything in particular or just the general layout?
Yeah, I'm looking for that entrance towards what was labelled Art Conduit with a question mark.
Okay. Well, you enter into the chamber from the original central trap sand pit.
Is that right, Brim? Oh, this is separate. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
You head over into what looks like 3 large tombs, sarcophaguses. You don't know who or what is in them, but they are all like very old and very like disused, dust covered everywhere, a little bit shaken from all of the sand
Or like my mum.
Very, yeah. But it's just, it has beautiful designs along the sides and especially along the lids. There isn't really much text, but there's more like runic inscriptions for the design around. You head to the far wall, and all along is just solid stone.
We can get the map and we can get roughly where it would be. I'd like to just sort of tap around
All right.
to see if I can find it.
As you tap around, roll an investigation check for me. I'll say because it's dim light. Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Then standard roll.
That's a natural 1 plus 3, 4 in total.
Okay. For the next like 10 or so minutes, you just go and begin knocking all around the wall, not really finding anything right now. It's all you just have a quick little just blitz through.
I might just get distracted and start making different tones as I'm trying to knock, and then get distracted making the tones.
Yeah, and you slowly start building your own drum beat by tapping on the solid walls.
Yeah.
How many goblins and direwolves are there?
Right now?
Yep.
Well, we don't know technically until we find them.
Oh, in the room, I mean.
In the room, right now, 3 goblins and 2 direwolves.
Okay.
Right now, anyway.
Out your interest, guy. Can I cantrip minor illusion and minor illusion a same copy as the white brim guy's hat, but on myself?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and yeah, the wide brim Stetson hat, although a lot more pristine and cleaner than his. His has like a few ruffles and cuts and like dirt smears across it.
I just nod to him like,
You're all an interesting group.
Well, while we're here and conversing, does anyone want any food?
I'd love some.
yeah, me too.
I'll start setting up my cooking pot. While I am doing that, I'll sort of move closer to the wolves, take out one of my rations and sort of hold it out to them. And I'll feed one of the rations to both wolves.
And usually both of them kind of like catch it, and then the other comes over, grabs it in its mouth as well, and begins like a tug of war before you drop the second one down, and one lets go, and they both and just hungrily snack on those.
Oh, out your interest, with minor illusioned hat on the go, I'll nod at Leonin again. I'll be like, do you know any dwarves?
Yeah, I know a few.
Ah, cool. Anyone called Erig? Or Erig? However it's pronounced.
Never heard of it.
Oh, okay. It's worth a try. That's it.
It's quite like he's practiced that, I was going to say.
Can I insight that?
Yeah, roll insight.
Because I don't trust him for a second. Because I have a feeling I know what... Doesn't matter though, because I rolled a 5.
You rolled a big 5.
Yeah, a big 5.
With a +10 modifier.
He's being honest. He's very particular in the words he uses, but he's extremely honest right now.
That's fine. I'll just carry on getting my screws. Let's look back to Bar. Do you want anything?
I have my snacks.
And you just see his fist hurled down, breaking some of the stonework away in the floor, just breaking it to sunder. And you see him like just pick up out of it, just like not really that fresh, but like a long dead, like full horse carcass.
Out of interest, Bar, could I get a teeny weeny portion of that? Because that looks actually quite delicious if I cooked it.
But
A teeny weeny portion. You don't. Come on. How much do I need? I need a pea worth of your food.
okay.
And you just see him like tear off like a whole leg and just wing it to you.
Oh no!
So
Oh no! Go on, roll.
roll a deck save.
I'm just gonna see that and just duck underneath it.
Yeah.
You know what? Even though I want to survive, I also want to fail.
Okay.
11. I think it's only one, but I'll check. Yeah, +1.
Okay. 12.
12.
All right. You see as the horse leg just gets just wing straight to you, just straight to you. Rayloff just like is kind of in front of you, and then just like drops down to the ground as the horse like goes straight to you, and you catch it as it slams into your chest. It kind of knocks you off your feet. Yeah.
How much damage?
Nothing.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
It's a dead horse leg.
He's just covered in shit now.
I just stand up sort of on the floor. I'm like, cheers, bar.
Is there anywhere that sort of has more of a? Sorry,
At least you kept your hat on.
I was just gonna say, is there anywhere in the room
Yeah,
that
yeah.
has
Minor illusion hat as I go back just stays in the air there.
Rayloff, what were you saying?
I was just gonna ask her, is there anywhere in the room that has like some more open ceiling? So the smoke from the fire isn't just gonna go up and fill the room.
I will. It all looks closed off. I'll give you a visual aid of what the chamber looks like, if you like.
Okay.
Oh. I'm going to shrink that down. Oh.
God, neighbor.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
How come you set the trap to be on?
My friends did that to stop the orcs returning with more.
So the bodies in the pit are orcs that have tried to come before?
There have been nights I've had to listen to the muffled screams of orcs, humans, elves. Some people that clearly just wanted to explore. I couldn't let them know I was here. We were here.
Bar, is this your home, or are you stuck here because it's sinking?
It's my home.
Okay.
I came here before it sank.
Could you get out if you really wanted to?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I don't want you to be trapped here. Out of concern for my newfound friend.
I have enough to keep me going.
As he just like picks up this like fairly sizable horse corpse and just tears off like almost half of its rib cage. Just gets pulled out by his teeth.
Out of interest, do you have to scavenge for your food, or do you have any trade routes that you actually? Is there anyone who trades with you, or?
We scavenge.
Okay. Would you have anything to offer any traders?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking, you already met that Berlin. We could get some trade route on the go.
I don't need everybody knowing where we are. I have valuables. I could offer to a merchant, or I could offer you.
What kind of valuables? Oh,
That we could do.
sketchy Theron comes out now. Oh, oh, valuables.
Let us sit and eat and talk.
You know what, Bar? I'm not even bothered about your valuables. I just want to make sure you get a decent trade route. It can be somebody
I
who.
just want those husks to go.
Yeah, but is there anything valuable about the husks?
No, not to
Good-
me.
good. Okay, fair enough.
They taste awful.
What, even barbecued?
Anyway,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I ain't going to... I'll trust you. I ain't going to try it.
I don't really want to.
And I sort of drag this leg along to Rayloff. I'm like, can you give me a hand with this? Come on,
I'll
big
go
guy.
over and
Yeah,
help.
really easily just scoop up
I'll sort
like,
of
the
set
thick
it up into the far corner, just so it's not distracting everyone. So I can
Oh,
still
well,
listen. As
I'll
in,
look
like,
you
where I'm
distracting me.
set. Well, more for the smoke. I don't want it.
Oh, yeah.
To anyone. That's all.
You don't. I'd say you don't see any like major gaps, but the room is large enough that you would not have to worry too much about the smoke really filling up quickly and choking you out if you were to set up a little fire.
What?
Okay.
No, true.
Well, actually, yeah, that's true. Because there is fires in here. I would assume.
There's
Yeah.
braziers in front of him. Yeah, I mean they're kind of like sputtering, but they're still alight somewhat.
Yeah, I'll just sort of set it up into the corner so I can still listen in, but I'll just be cooking up. How many goblins did you say? 3, was it?
3 goblins and 2 direwolves. The room.
Well, I've given the direwolves food already.
Yeah, the room is on the map. On
Obviously,
you.
Yeah.
Obviously, use the horse leg as well, because all
Yeah.
of us won't be able to like eat all of them. Well, you might.
Other than the horse, the horse leg, how many rations would I need to make a meal for everyone? Apart from Ball, who has his whole horse.
Yeah, except for Ball, 4 of you, 5 counting Duke. I'd say about like 8 or between 8 and 10 rations to comfortably feed everyone.
With the
That's
horse leg.
including the goblins as well.
Yeah, with the horse like that.
Yeah.
You
I only
see
have
rations
2.
I have.
you see Bar as you're like setting everything up in the corner.
Cook it over here.
And he just like reaches in, and you almost see the stone underneath, like, or the stone surface as he like puts his arm down and then like starts pushing his arm forward. You see some of the stonework just like clump up almost as he's reaching under, and you see him just all you hear is and he just like holds this like metal grate almost.
Put this on the fire. Cook on that.
Yeah, I'll put the thing underneath it then, and I'll put the little grate on it.
It's a magical cooking grate. No, I'm joking.
I'll sort of, as I'm setting up, I'll sort of look to everyone, not Duke, was it? Just sort of go, have you got a ration spare? Just so I'm not left with nothing. Anyone?
As no one
I
seemingly
don't
answers,
think
you,
I don't think I've even got any food. In a minute, I will check them.
you hear just next to you as you look to the ground, and Duke has thrown you about 4 rations worth in a small pouch.
You don't need to give that many. I've got
parchment.
And Duke just kind of looks at you.
Alright.
Well, you better feed me well then. As he like moses over slightly and taking off his hat, putting it to the side, and kind of just sitting against a little bit of the stonework that is now raised up, just from the cracks and everything that the bar has been doing throughout.
Oh, can you do the trap itself?
Yes.
Can you manually open the bottom with a lever or button press?
I don't want to.
Because there is a lot of people's bodies there.
I know.
maybe
Well,
leave this until after we've had food.
Yeah,
what
I
a-
agree.
Are you doing great? I'm just want to quickly ask.
Terror, just leave it till after the food. Jeez. We're trying to have a good time. We've
We
got
are gonna
acquainted.
have a good time. You can talk. I just want to be over there.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm asking. You
but
can
it's
do
going,
your stuff. I can be over there doing my stuff.
but it's going to be a serious, stupid conversation that we don't need yet.
It's not going to be a stupid conversation. It's a one-ask question. Can you keep it open for me?
Okay.
New friends.
Yes, Bar.
You wish for me to open the grid?
Yes, just so I'm not stuck. That is all.
Follow
Grid?
me.
What grid are we on
neighbor.
about?
The grid for where the trap was opened up for the sand.
Oh,
Bar
yeah.
begins to just muscle past, ducking and getting through. And Tara, as you kind of go out first, you turn, and as coming into the trap room with like the sort of like larger doorway, you see as weird as you do see Bar almost like a spider emerging from its small crawl space. You see his arms and just come out of the doorway.
Just seeing the actual size.
And his like hand, his like fingers just dig in, and as they do, you see the center just gently as his fingers like slot in and almost get trapped.
Are you sure?
It's... If you can keep it open, it's fine. I was thinking if you wanted to stay there, you wouldn't even have to look at them.
And as you see all of his muscles, like, albeit he's fairly rotund and big, you didn't really see too much like muscle mass. He's not ripped by any means. But as he starts tensing and pulling, you see his shoulders and traps and his biceps and triceps just all like almost just bulge instantly.
They will not close.
Thank you. I'll come back up to ask if you can shut it once I've done.
That's okay.
Before he leaves. But I want to walk up towards his foot. Put my hand on his foot. Thank you for being such a good friend.
Thank you for not killing me. No.
I don't think that would have happened. But no worries. Pat.
And he
I'll
like
give him a
leans
nod.
down almost to try and whisper, but everyone else hears this because it's just his whisper is not quiet at all.
Could I mind link him?
You could.
He says to a creature.
Yeah.
Would he be? Yeah, awesome. I'll say thank you for being a good friend, and then I'll say, seriously, I do through the mind link and see if he will, in his head, respond back to me.
Out loud, he says,
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
I like all of you. Even when you argue.
We'll try to fix that. Don't worry.
What's this mind link? Can I hear it if it's telepathic?
no.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like a one-to-one. It is telepathic, but it's a one-to-one kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Just in case I could be in on it.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Come and eat when you're ready.
They will, thank you.
And if you're lucky, I might share some horse.
I've
Oh.
never tried horse.
Pause.
Horse.
Oh. I was like, are we getting freaky in the sheets tonight?
As Bar like stands and turns, and almost just as he's like about to turn around on the back foot, he just stops.
What are you doing?
Who's he
Is this
talking to?
towards Gerald?
Yeah.
Yeah. He will see Gerald lying on one of the stone coffins, slowly caressing it, going, "Come on, don't be shy. You can tell me where the door opens.
You
Just
see,
have to come from the grave."
you see Bar just
Tell them to come eat when they're ready.
and he just crouches and goes through the doorway back into the larger chamber.
Awesome.
Gerald, I want you to roll another investigation check with disadvantage this time because you are so preoccupied stroking the sarcophagus.
So
Also, I'm
that
going
gives
to
me
be
some
putting.
hints.
I'm also going to be putting the 3 good berries that I got
Perfect.
into the.
Yeah.
I'm going to be making a stew
Okay.
with a bit of herbs, a couple of the fruit to make it a bit sweeter.
Mhm.
I
And
will
some rations
also.
of horse meat.
Yes. I will
Oh.
also add a drop of the alcohol that I've got.
Yeah, perfectly
Just
fine.
add a
Awesome.
bit of heat to
So
it.
that's going to take,
Oh.
I'd say, the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so to actually get a nice, consistent, edible stew, especially with the horse meat sort of kind of partly decaying, but like still fresh enough that you could.
Yeah. What I'll probably do is I'll put the stew on one side and
Yeah.
probably cook the horse meat sort of like a kebab almost.
Sure,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
size of it.
No.
Sure, like a
No,
spit.
you want it in the juices, or else it won't soak up any of the flavour. Oh, come on, bro.
Gerald.
Jeez.
It's like it doesn't know
Yeah.
what to do.
We're doubling our progress. That's 2, making it 5 in total.
you like at this point you're still on the sarcophagus, just stroking, and frustratingly you kind of just look around and you see
Fine.
nothing.
If you're not going to tell me, I'll have to search some more. I will go. I will actually go along the wall a bit more, random. But this time, I think what Gerald will do is actually properly scrape now,
Okay, all right.
trying to find any groove.
All right. Just following the attempts, I'm going to say another disadvantage roll.
Yep.
But with you actively just going in and scraping down and really pushing into the wall, I'll say flat roll for investigation for you.
Hey, that's a bit better. 15.
15. Okay. You take, I'd say, about the next 5 minutes or so, really going from one end of the far wall all the way across, feeling and like pushing your body weight against it. And you're just feeling through every crevice with your claws and the back of your feathered hands. And while everyone else is just beginning to settle down in this throne chamber, sit down with some fire, with a fire and some food cooking, just as you reach roughly where that marker was, just a little bit off of that point on the map, as you're pushing through, Gerald, and you're trying to just feel around any of this solid stonework, you kind of start getting frustrated covering most of it, getting to the last little bit and finding nothing yet. And as you push through, you still lean your body against, and at one point your body just
Another secret entrance.
and falls straight through
Oh,
this
full straight.
solid,
Okay.
or what you expected was solid wall. And that's where we're going to go take a break and come back in just a little while, pick it up from there. Okay, as we come back in, the party, after a very tense brush with the ogre, now known as Bar, you became quick allies. He shared information, and so did you. And you also came face to face with your gunslinging stranger who has been tailing you for the better part of 2 days now. And as you all make acquaintances, mostly, and Rayloff, Theron, Bar, and Duke all begin to huddle down in the large throne chamber and begin cooking up some food for everyone. Tara, you are stood over the large, pretty much sand drain in that trap room, and just off in past the sarcophaguses and the tombs, Gerald, you, after feeling around for the better part of at least 30 minutes, you feel no resistance against one part of the wall, and you just go fall through and onto the ground. And that's where we're picking it up. So, Gerald,
Can I quickly start the ritual spell Find Familiar?
Yeah, absolutely. So you get your chalk out, and you start making different symbols across the ground, swirling it around, and concentrating on that. That's going to take the next hour or so while the food's cooking. The
now
fire's
10
crackling.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gerald, you find yourself as your body just almost like just falls uncomfortably through this wall. You feel like a cold shiver as you pass through, and you land on your hands and knees on packed dirt, and you look around, and instantly there is just jagged, natural cavern space around you.
I'll get up. I'll dust myself off. When I turn, is the wall the hole I came through
Solid.
not visible, but is it fully solid, or is it
Yeah.
like diminished slightly? Because I know it's an illusion.
Fully solid.
Shit. Well, shit. Well, let's carry on forward. We'll look ahead, but I'm gonna try and find that art conduit.
Okay.
That should be on the map.
All right. You begin to walk across. You do see like a couple braziers that are just barely. They've got 2 inches of flame, just barely, just flickering on them. Are you going quietly or just making your way through and having a wander?
No, he was just gonna make his way through.
Sure. Okay. You hear very muffled just gently echo. Almost the echo itself is slightly muffled itself as well.
As soon as I hear that, then I'll slow down.
Yeah. Alright. And you kind of slow down. Roll a stealth check for me if you're slowing down to that point.
Cast invisibility.
Ah, yes. I cast the fake invisibility spell I have as well. Stealth. 16. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
You begin to just slowly, just very slowly creep around, and as you do, your footfalls very gently just, and as you just come around the actual hallway you're in now, kind of like snakes slightly, but then it comes to what looks like a slight opening, but bearing left. And as you kind of just creep around that corner, you can see set against this far back wall, this not really too open, but it's just gently opening from this hallway. This cavern opens up roughly about between 30 feet across and probably about 60 or so feet from you to the other side of where this exit looks, or what you can assume is an exit. There is just very, very dim light around as the braziers now. You see 2 right next to this set of small stone masoned stairs and those braziers are completely snuffed out. There are a couple just along the walls that are still kind of just very gently. I want you to roll a perception check for me. And I know you have dark vision, so just be a flat roll.
We'll do it. Perception is 22.
22. You look across the entire cavern chamber, and way, just again that 60 or so feet off from you, on the other side, you see this entrance is completely collapsed. Rubble and stone blocking the entirety. Maybe just about leaving a 4-foot gap or so above all of the rubble before it hits the ceiling of this jagged natural cavern space. The thing that catches your eyes immediately is upon these masoned stairs, just heading up slightly, only barely about 5 feet up, as they step very incrementally up and up and up, and you see this set stone pedestal, and you see the design of this stone has been carved and chipped away with the natural corrosion over time, of almost like a tree with its roots coming up and then twisting and wrapping, jutting out and then snaking back in. This stonework pedestal just comes up to a point, and you see this other stalactite hanging down, but it is part of this pedestal, and in the center, that seemingly is just trapped between the pedestal and the stalactite of one solid structure, you see this large, I'd say almost like a basketball-sized orb. This light blue orb, and from inside you can see a small cyan light just oscillating. And with such a high roll, you see just set far back behind that, just off to the right a little bit, you see a small, almost like control panel, but slab of solid stone with what looks like, just from where you are, you can see almost like a slab of hieroglyphics or runes or writing or something, but you see just off to the right.
Why did I have to do a ritual spell right now?
And all of the dim light just gets swallowed up around this reactor, and the only light you see in that far end of the chamber is that blue oscillation.
Okay.
You hear again.
No. That's what I was going to ask for.
With a high perception check, you hear it from the other side of the rubble, echoing through that gap and in.
Oh, that sounds like...
Okay, so through the gap on the opposite side of that, the blocked exit.
Yes.
As such, yeah, blocked.
From what you can tell, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds like Theron's jam. From in the middle of a ritual spell.
Well, I definitely feel... Yeah. Gerald will go back, and he's going to try and to see if he can get back through the entrance that he just came through.
Yeah,
or even find the entrance that he just came through.
You kind of step back.
Master, don't forget, mark it on the map.
You forget, continue to step back. I want you to roll another stealth check for me.
12.
12. You step back and you kind of step on a couple of rocks that just... And you hear that clicking just... and you begin to hear like almost scraping, just scraping at the rubble as you back away.
Yep, I'll keep backing. I will
Yeah.
not stop.
You turn around and head back to that wall, and just kind of putting your hands out just to feel. You feel solid stone.
Definitely keep feeling around. I'm gonna push on more of it.
You keep pushing.
You stuck, bro.
You keep pushing, and almost like a smaller, like tucked away exit that was just off the side of where you entered, still on that wall. Like you kind of lean more into the jagged cavern rock walls, and you fall through, and you are back within the small tomb.
When I look at where I come out, I'm now going to put my hand near where like that first hole was, and sort of just see if that still exists.
Yeah, so you come out near enough in line with the center sarcophagus out of the three.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the sarcophaguses with that wall behind them, you would say a good like 4 to 5, like about 4 feet away from you, you can rest your hand, or about, I'd say about like 5 feet or so. You just move over and you push against where you entered, and it's nothing.
But now I'm going to make my way back to yeah, well, we'll go down to the center and I'll see the holes there for the moment. That'll catch my attention.
All right. So, just as you're doing that, Tara.
Okay, so when Bar goes back up to say, obviously we're going to eat and there might be some horse, I'm going to initially look at the sand and the corpses there, and to see if I can jump down.
All right. Say roll a perception check for me just to gauge the distance from you to the bodies.
Zooming in with a perception of +4, that's a 19.
19. You look down and you estimate roughly about 40 feet down is where the bodies initially surface.
Okay. Is there anywhere that I can put my rope to tie it and like throw myself back down?
You could
throw it down.
if you have enough rope, you could definitely like tie to one of the pillars.
Let me bring on inventory. Rope, 50 feet worth of rope.
I would say, because a decent perception check, you also find like just a small notch of where Bar had opened the trap, and it's got like a kind of like small little lip underneath where it like hooks under like that. So you could get your rope on there, tie it off, and then you have 50 feet to throw straight down rather than, quite a few feet behind you, then trying to get down.
To be able to throw. Yeah. That's what I will do.
Yeah. So you would just hitch it on. Yeah, you hitch it on.
Yeah.
And you start lowering yourself down.
Yeah, down. While I'm there, I want to try to see if there are any suspicious kind of looking weapons, if they've got any marks on them, if there's anything that could relate to information, images, anything that could say why they've come from a location to this location, and if there's anything that sparked my interest, like value of money, value of any potions, or any kind of use that I could use there and then kind of thing.
Okay. Roll an investigation check for me.
Okay. Investigation. It's 14 with investigation.
Alright. Sorry for a second.
Okay. Just rotating me D20 to B20 at the top.
Alright.
As you do.
So, you find...
Yeah.
As you sink down and you kind of set your feet, unfortunately you do just set feet down and you hear a couple
Okay,
just
that was
bones
an answer.
breaking.
Yeah. Okay.
And you kind of scurry like around slowly and you just shuffle through some bodies. You don't find really any information as to which, houses or which clans they belong to, as most of the clothing has long since decayed or torn or been so...
Anything on their armor item?
You catch a couple of the dwarves that you see down there. One more skeletal than the other. You do see these like silver arm bracelets, pretty much. They're just like, pretty much like a bracelet. You see, it's almost like one serpent wrapping around from end to end.
Okay.
Oh.
I will take one of them if that's
Sure.
okay.
Lick him.
You grab one and you can't get over the hand as you kind of just...
And if you don't know what the serpent is, you're an idiot.
And you like almost have to snap the hand off just to be able to get this off of the wrist.
Yeah. I'll kind of say, sorry, Paul.
Put it on yourself. Put it on yourself.
And then you don't really see any other markings on clothes or bodies necessarily.
Yeah, that's cool.
You do find amongst the bodies, you find a few items or a few weapons that
Awesome.
stick out to you just a little bit.
More than just the average
more than
sword.
the average sword, bow, everything.
Yeah.
Another magical lockpick.
I'll take more of them.
You find like this old oak bow, like just made of jagged but natural oak bark, and the bowstring on it is almost has an orangey hue. You also find a small, like, dusty and sand-covered sheath with a ornate, it's like almost spiral handle on it. And as you kind of just gently pull out, you find that a almost pristine, just completely clean and pristine, and just the level of craftsmanship on this blade as you pull out a scimitar, or the blade of one, with a curved and beveled, almost like purple onyx handle.
Oh, is it not a falchion?
You also find this small hooded lantern that, albeit it's of dull black iron, you notice inside it kind of like, rather than it just being where like a candle or where any kind of like oil wick would be, you see just absolutely nothing in there except for like these 3 prongs on either side, as if it was supposed to hold something more spherical. Yeah, and with that, with that investigation check as well.
Yeah.
I will say you'll also find attached to an elven figure. You find these dark beige and almost like grey boots, and upon them, just next to the heels, you see 2 feathers on either side of the heel.
Okay, and do they look like I could put them on? Do they look my size?
Honestly, I'd say for you, yeah, they look almost like they would be an okay fit from the get-go.
Okay. I'll put everything in my backpack, and I'll kind of keep the boots like on my person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I will like summit. So when I've climbed back up the rope, I can put them on, kind of deal. Any kind of like money at all, or was it none? If not, I'm happy with what I've
you
seen.
have a feeling that through all of the bodies, if they weren't already pillaged, then small things like coins or rings or anything that might have gone away with the decay of flesh or fabric would have just filtered down this weird, like, funnel of dead bodies all the way down to however deep it goes. You have no idea.
Is there anything towards the walls that are exposed, not of sand, the 40 feet worth of?
You look and it is pretty much just solid stonework. Like some bricks do jut out here and there, but you think that was just more the craftsmanship of it, not intentional or anything. Yeah, or any kind of hidden things.
Awesome. I will put the backpack on my back, tell Mogwai to go back up, and I'll give it a little tug to make sure that it's still in place, and I will.
Mogwai just as you begin to pull your way up. At this time, Gerald, you are just coming back through the central chamber, and you kind of look around and you remember seeing Tara here for a second, but then you look down this big open sand drain with bodies and bodies piling over one another, and you see Tara come up, just popping her head up, putting her bag like on the ground, and you hear a little jingle of a few things you haven't seen on her before she pulls herself up and starts taking the rope off to put in her pouch.
The grave robber returns.
It's not really the grave robber, it's more they have finished using them and we may need them. And plus, I was trying to look for some information.
Lovely. With
That
that
was
kind of
my main reason.
mindset, it is exactly what we need. How do you like orbs? Glow blue.
Oof, wow.
You see, how big was this orb?
From a
Do you
distance, it looks about yay big.
Do you think it could fit in this? And I'll pull out that lantern. I know it might. By the hands, it's probably way too big.
As Gerald is doing this to describe the size, you hold up this lantern and it is about like a small, like handheld oil lantern.
Okay. Yeah,
No,
definitely
this
not.
orb is definitely bigger.
But you see what I was trying to get, and I'll kind of like push it more into Gerald's not face, but like from here to kind of like.
You can see through the glass
To
the
see
three prongs, almost like talons, just clutching nothing at the center.
I'll just mimic the talon pod there. Like, I see what you mean.
If you find anything that might fit this, that it might be something. But if it's not here, it's probably lost in there.
But there is something I should mention about the orb, though. It is
What?
guarded, or there is something there nearby.
Okay. Maybe we get the guys and have a look.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be going anywhere.
Frankly so. What did you see many enemies at all? I'm gonna kind of like sit down and try putting on these boots.
Well, I saw a huge pile of rock blocking most of an entrance, to which I heard a lot of scratching coming from behind.
Wow. Can
So either the orb is keeping them away, or they wish to get closer.
yeah. Do you think we could steal that as well?
Wait, steal what as well?
The orb.
I thought that was
Yeah,
for the original intention.
Once I put these boots on.
You find one.
They're
Of
all
your,
they're made for walking.
you find one
Exactly.
of your feet kind of like stop halfway through, and then you have to pull the boot off. You reach in and you just grab something, and you just pull out like 4 toes.
Oh,
Before you,
Oh.
before you
I'll
put-
drop it into the pit.
Yeah. Before you put them both on, they're fairly snug. They're maybe
Okay. Pat out the bar,
barely a little too small right now, but
Okay.
not too
Okay.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. It looks like we've got a mini. What's the word now? I was gonna say heist, but obviously, yeah, it's not a heist. Yes, that's fine with me. Do you know obviously how to get in and out? Obviously, with you being here, I know you were when we saw you, you were caressing that sarcophagus.
Spirits did guide me a little bit, but it's all good.
That's good. Do you speak to spirits often? Kind of up in my backpack to start walking back up.
Only when I
Fair
can't
enough.
find my answers.
That's awesome. Brilliant.
Every 2 minutes.
Every 2 minutes.
Yeah. Fantastic. But yeah, we'll definitely take that. Do you have a plan of where we want to move it to, or see if Bar knows of it, or do you want to keep this on the hush?
My original plan was to take it and run, but then I heard the skittering, so I thought maybe not.
Awesome.
But otherwise, I feel we should just... If everyone comes, we should be
Yeah,
fine.
that's cool.
Or
Well,
Bar may not fit through.
okay. Well, do you think it's worth asking him if he knows?
I feel like if he doesn't know, it might be a good reason of why the husks are coming.
Awesome. Well, if we tell them to come down here, because obviously I would like Bar to shut the trap, we can tell them then.
Oh, have you got everything from out there?
Obviously
I
not
expect-
everything, but
Ah,
kind of like tapping the side of where the backpack is. I got some stuff. Theodore might want to look at some things.
alright, very well.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you
so-
sure you don't want your rope before you
Oh,
go?
I've already got it.
Yeah, as she says that, you just see a kind of like, just like
Yeah.
like just stow it back in the bag.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Confirm that it's definitely there.
Yeah. All right. So
Well,
as
thank you.
as all that's going on, before you rejoin the rest of the party, Theron and Rayloff, what are you two doing as you are? Theron, you're doing your ritual cast, but I'm still.
How long ago are we into it?
Good 30 minutes.
Oh, so I'm probably going to have to cancel it. Okay.
You can. I will say you can talk, and and you can't. I mean, you can move, but then you may as well cancel it. But as you're working on it,
I mean, for the sake of brevity, when they come and I hear them on about a glowing, humming orb.
that'll come in a bit. Yeah. So
Yeah. I'm going to say if I'm hearing it, I'll be like.
Yeah. So
But
yeah.
so
for now, while Tara and
I'm
Gerald are off,
I'm still in
you're
the
still doing
midst
the ritual
of
casting.
Yeah.
Rayloff, is there anything you want to do in the meantime while Duke kind of sits opposite you, like just on this raised piece of sandstone, just like looking at the fire, looking at the stew that you're preparing, and then Boar is like hungrily still chowing down on his long dead horse. Is there anything you want to do in the meantime while your party are busy?
Yeah, preoccupied.
Mm-hmm. That's the word I was
Well,
going for.
Yeah.
While the flames are just going for finishing off, I imagine finishing off the stew at this point.
Yeah, it's getting close to serving time.
I feel like
Oh.
pausing busy was fitting.
Duke, did you hear much about our conversation with Ball?
Every single word.
Do you know anything about the herons? Anything more than we've heard?
Yeah.
Do you know where they might be?
I have seen just, a couple other hideouts throughout the desert.
And I'm guessing they're close to here then.
Close enough. But I assume that's maybe where any orcs might be. If that's where they had dragged all the goblins off to. Thank you for earlier, by the way.
It's fine. It's obviously important to you, however it is that they are, and there's no need to try and argue over it when it's clear that you're trying to help us. Not to say that you haven't got your own things to do, but you helped us
Well,
at the end of the day.
I'm a very busy man. But after meeting you that night, I thought I may as well just watch a little. Make sure you don't get in too much trouble.
Well, it seems as if trouble seems to follow us at the minute.
Seems so.
Out of interest, to be cheeky, could I, while I'm doing the ritual, minor illusion a hat? Ah, it's worth a try.
You unless you want to cancel the ritual.
No.
Okay.
So, I'll probably have to cancel it in a minute, but for now, no.
Yeah. Duke
I
just
just want
kind
to
of-
be a dick
yeah.
for no reason. Yeah.
Duke just looks you up and down real off. So, how long you all been together then?
To be honest, a week, two, maybe.
Well, how's that working out for you so far? You all are a lot different than each other.
Get that again.
Huh.
I don't know. I came here because I thought I could find some answers, and as usual, it's all led to problems. Because, of course, other people have to get involved.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
But I've, for better or worse, made ties here, so I have to see them through.
That's a fair point. See, I'm the kind of guy that'll just go drifting. But my kind of work does make sure that I stay alone most of the time.
I used to do that before. Then, after a while, it got lonely. Well, I suppose I wasn't really alone, but
You know,
because what I was doing got to me, so I had to step away.
right. See, that's one thing that's just never gotten me yet. Loneliness. It hasn't bit me like the bug it should. But the
I
interesting...
suppose to be lonely, you have to have enjoyed company at one point or another.
Well, I used to.
Out of interest, can I hear this going on?
Yeah.
All you hear from me is, "You'll see in time." And I'll carry on the ritual.
You know, as he just like darts his eyes to Theron and then back. With my work, you kind of have to say goodbye to a lot of company. But you get to work with a few people, some better than others. And it's strange. I used to work with a liar, and now I work for a shepherd. And I still enjoy being here with you all more. Strange, right?
Then you
Well,
just hear me say, "It could be fate."
Keep drawing your circles.
I'll just carry on.
more than welcome to stay with us if you do want to join. If not,
Let's... I still work for a living, so let's just see how things go.
do you plan on staying with us and helping kill some of those, or?
I helped enough so far, I don't see why not. But we'll just see how the rest of your friends feel.
Well,
I got what I needed.
from the sounds of it, I imagine we'll need all the help we can get. But
Well, we'll see how things go.
for now, good meal, some talking. That's enough for the right now.
And he just kind of like just goes arms akimbo. Yeah.
Her
Sounds
legs
about right.
akimbo.
Sounds about right. As Gerald and Tara, you both make your way back up. Theron, I'd say you've got about 5 minutes left or so of the ritual. No, actually, I'd say you're just coming up to the last couple minutes as Gerald and Tara.
Okay, no, five's all
rejoin.
right. I reckon we could do that and then go. Yeah.
Sure, 5 minutes. All right. Tara and Gerald, both of you rejoin, and you see Rayloff handing a bowl of stew over to Duke, as you see as he kind of like laps up off the spoon. You see that very cat-like tongue seep out and just flick back before he then puts a spoon in his mouth. And as the firelight is kind of cascading against his form as he sat down, you can not help but notice how feline some of his features are once the light properly hits and you really get a chance to glance over at him. But you rejoin, and a couple of the goblins are sat round just with a small bowl of stew and just drinking or just fueling themselves in whatever way they can. Bar is still quietly munching. You see Bar now actually has just like finished his last bite, and still like a quarter of the horse carcass is still in his hand, as you can kind of just see him slowly closing his eyes gently in his large throne.
So I have a question out here, probably aimed at one of you two. Is that orb, the blue glowing orb, important for anything?
You immediately see Duke just like chewing. It is well important.
The blue orb, that is, it was on that map under Arc Conduit.
No, that definitely isn't important. You just leave that be. You don't. Just forget about
Can I
it.
insight his response to Gerald?
Yeah.
Feeling a bit
Yeah. Well,
on the
insight check.
suspicious side. 9+ in Inside a +4. That is a 13. They sound
You
genuine.
can tell
Yeah.
he sounds slightly panicked, but
Okay. Like he's found it.
but it sounds genuine.
Yeah, that's her.
He sounds just
Okay.
as genuinely concerned about it as someone else could be.
Well, if not important, I can at least play around with the tablet then. Find out what it does.
You don't want to be doing that.
How come?
That's what started all this.
So would you know how to fix it?
No.
Did it bring them here? Did it attract them or something? Or
I don't know if we should be talking all this much.
Does
You
it
just
use magic?
You want all my cards on the table?
As much as you're willing to give us if we're all sharing.
I may or may not have been some interested party to go and explore this tomb.
Okay.
Me and my compatriots were trying to get a ride down here, and when one compatriot double-crossed both of us and left us stranded, he made it here, and we did not. Well, not first.
And then you just hear me say EB, and then I carry on with my ritual.
That liar was an issue. And he got here first, we got here second. And whatever he had done to that reactor just rumbled and quaked, and we saw shooting out of the temple just this bright cylinder of blue. And it reached all the way through the clouds into the sky. And before we know it, we had these husks, these insects just barreling out of those caverns straight to us. We tried to hide, but because of that reactor, the whole place started to sink, and sand came on in. And you kind of see him like just a little bit, like just a slight pause.
Yeah.
I made it out.
And all you hear is me go, "Pat, awesome," and then I carry on with the ritual.
I'm gonna put my bowl down, stand up, kind of like nicely walk over to him, kind of put my hand near his shoulder but not actually touching. I'm sorry. I really am. And then I will make the judge to lower my hands and see if he reacts to it actually making possible contact. To then contact it, nothing.
As you like reach your hand out and kind of start leaning, you kind of see one of his hands almost like shimmy to the side.
Yeah, no worries.
But his eyes just stay locked on yours, and as you make contact, you kind of see like a slight just shiver and twitch. before he just sighs and just pushes his shoulder into your hand.
I'll go down to my knees, and I will, face-to-face level, I'll give him like a sorrowful hug.
As you reach around, at that point, he just puts his
He
hand
gets his
onto
gun
your
out and
chest,
shoots you.
Yeah.
and he just, oh, okay, that's enough pity for me. I appreciate it.
I just thought you'd might once. And I'll
I know
I'll give him a tap on the back and go back to my ball.
I appreciate it, but if you ever try and hug me that passionately again, I will blow your face off.
Oh, I have fantastic hugs. Mogwai knows. Pointing at Mogwai.
I don't care.
Neither
But
do I.
you shouldn't.
A hug is always needed at certain times, and that was one of them.
I have a
Fine.
belief that there is a possibly more husks waiting around the orb, waiting to give people hugs as well.
Yeah, but there's a difference between good hugs and bad hugs.
And as the having this hug conversation in the middle of ritual, I'm like,
Yeah, Theron, you get no hugs.
Right. Well, in that case,
Serious. Sit down, back to ball.
in that case,
Thank you, real off.
if some husks are in need of hugs, and he just kind of casts his ball to the ground, just reaches over and grabs his hat. Why'd you say that we go and get rid of him?
Now this is what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
And he just looks at you, Rayloff. You game?
I am, but first, I assume you would want to get back to Eric if you can.
Only the gods know what I'd do to Eric if I saw him again.
Because he's in
oh,
Brenton.
Meta, we haven't actually mentioned Eric's name yet.
No, but we were under the assumption that
Okay, fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough.
We're just guessing, and he's confirming by carrying on.
That's fine, I'll write it down.
So,
Or rewatch the video and you get exact content.
so he's in Branson.
Yes.
Did he
we want
east,
to have some
if
work
we
with
heard
him as
correctly?
well.
I'm gonna have to pay that lying sack of shit a visit after all this.
And if you would like any more information on his development of character, we were told that he was not to be trusted.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right. That's on the money.
How far
When-
You've only got like
When
30
we've
seconds
done-
left.
When we've done, we'll happily take him too.
Well, what I want to do is I want to get rid of this. Sort all this mess out. We are not messing with that reactor.
I don't know if we could fix it. That's all I was thinking.
Let's,
Any of us fix it, really?
let's just go clear out some things and then go from there.
That sounds like.
Do you know where it is?
I'm just gonna pull out my halberd and just rest it on my shoulder.
And you see Eric, fuck me. You see Duke just put his hat on and kind of look down, and you just see like his hand just kind of like just very quickly pull out this small metal construction with the ivory handle, and you see him just like rack the barrel before he just. I think I'm going to like you a lot. Let's go. And Mogwai just.
Yeah.
And as you all begin to slowly make your way, putting your balls down through, following into the sarcophagus, and just up against
What about me?
And you as well, don't worry. Just up
Finish
against.
me ritual.
Yeah. So just as you complete that, and all of you make your way up to that stone wall, and all of you begin to follow lead as Gerald just through the wall, and all the rest of you. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode and come back next week to continue from there.
Oh.
Nice.
Crazy.
Alright. Well, thanks for watching. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you later.